Welcome. I'm Jacquie Vannart. I am the CEO and founder of Jacquie Vannart Coaching. And as an integrative health coach, I get the most questions on how I quit drinking in my 50s after abusing alcohol for maybe 40 years. I tried everything. I tried quitting so many different times and I kept failing. So, about 7.5 years ago, I came up with a plan that actually worked and stuck. And so, I get a lot of people asking about this. So, today I want to share what I think you need to know before you quit alcohol. And it's essentially 15 things that I wish I knew. So, my story is that I came from a corporate career. I was drinking a lot with the leadership team, with my team, clients. I started different addictive behaviors in my early teens. And so I worked through binge eating, smoking cigarettes, drugs in college, you name it, I have done it. So, 2 years ago, I started my own coaching business because I had been studying neuroscience and health and everything health and wellness, nutrition for decades to try to help myself in the beginning. And then people started asking me how I transformed my life. And that's when I started helping other people. So, my vision and mission essentially with my business is to help other people transform their lives as I've done for myself. And now I've done for countless clients. So, what do I wish I knew when I was trying to unsuccessfully quit drinking? Number one is that if you want to succeed, have a plan. At some point, moderation is really no longer an option. And I spent decades wasting my time trying to go back to moderating alcohol. That was my dream. I didn't want to be a sober person. But what I didn't understand at the time is that alcohol has a cumulative effect. And I was in my 50s. I was drinking daily. I was drinking a bottle of wine every night, at least on the weekends. I would drink a bottle and a half, if not more. And once you get to that point, you can't just go back to the way that you were before. And I didn't want to believe this. And I wasted so much time trying to moderate. So it wasn't until I just gave up on that idea and decided that I didn't want to drink alcohol anymore, gave up on trying to moderate, that's when sobriety actually stuck for me. Number two is research pause, PAWS. You can Google it. It's post acute withdrawal symptoms. And when I was first told about this, I heard the word acute and I thought, well, I'm not that bad. Like, I am really successful in my career. I'm always getting promoted. I go to the gym at 5 a.m. I don't have a real drinking problem. I'm not going to have any withdrawal symptoms. Well, I was wrong. And the reason why I want you to research pause before you quit drinking is that it's important to know what to expect. And listen, if it doesn't affect you in this way, then what's a little knowledge? What's a 2-minute Google search going to hurt? What I had heard about quitting drinking is that you're going to sleep like a baby. You're going to be so happy. It's all rainbows and unicorns and kittens, right? Well, that was not the truth. And so the first week when I quit drinking, I'd be tossing and turning and I couldn't sleep. And I thought, well, I'm doing something wrong. This isn't what sobriety is supposed to be like. And I would go back to drinking. It sounds crazy, but I would look for any excuse to go back to drinking, thinking, well, I don't really have a problem. If other people have drinking problems, sleep better than ever. So research pause and learn about the anxiety that you might feel, the sleep problems that you might have for a week or two, and the morning that you might feel. You might feel a little depressed in the beginning. And these are all things that you just need to work through. And for me, once I knew what to expect, when it would happen, I would think, oh, this is that thing that I read about, and I know it's not going to last long. So it helped me power through it, knowing it was normal. Number three, you do not need to hit rock bottom in order to quit drinking. Research the term gray area drinking and watch Jolene Park's YouTube video. This was so helpful to me. It's about 15 minutes, and I've watched it many times over and over again. And when I was growing up, I knew of alcoholics that had quit drinking and they lost everything and their lives were horrible. And I would also go to meetings, sobriety meetings, where people would talk about how they lost everything. And I couldn't relate to that because I was very successful in my career and in my life, and I was hitting all my goals. And I wasn't really sure if I had a drinking problem or not. So, gray area drinking really helped me understand that alcohol was not serving me, and I didn't have to hit rock bottom to really have a problem with drinking. So, again, watch that video. It's very helpful. I have all my clients watch it, and they really appreciate it. Number four, you can in fact quit alone. And people will tell you it's impossible. You have to join this group or that group. You have to go to meetings every single day. That's not true. I quit on my own. But I can tell you that it's a lot harder this way. And when I was trying to quit drinking, there was essentially one meeting that you had to attend in person. Those did not work well for me. And now there are so many online meetings that it would be crazy not to do it. So during COVID, I felt a little wobbly in my sobriety, I'll be honest. So I joined an online group where I could just go on. I could keep my camera off. It was a Zoom meeting, and I would hear other people share their stories. And this was really helpful for me to hear people whose stories were similar to mine, who had successfully quit drinking. And it helped fill time when I would normally be at happy hour or drinking. I really love that 5 o'clock meeting that I would go to on Friday nights when I would normally be at happy hour. So now there are so many different options for in person meetings and online meetings that it would make no sense to try to do this on your own. And if you want to remain anonymous and do online meetings, you can. So I suggest that as you're planning to quit drinking, that you find two different meetings, whether one's in person, one's online, find two that really resonate with you and learn about them. And usually you can attend a week free, some have a monthly fee. It's well worth it if it helps you quit drinking. Number five is find people that you can relate to who are sober. So I researched different podcasts, books, memoirs of sober people. I set up an anonymous Instagram account so I could follow people who were sober. That was really helpful for me. I didn't want anyone to know that I was struggling with my drinking. I was worried that I would appear weak to my clients and my colleagues at work. So do what you have to do, but start following people, get books at the library, start making those connections as part of your planning. I had to read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts before I actually quit drinking. Sometimes I would be fully inebriated when I was listening to these podcasts, but they really helped. And I really suggest that you find some things that you really resonate with. Hopefully, someone whose story is similar to yours. Number six, get the phone number of at least one sober person. I felt so much more secure when I got the phone number of someone that I didn't know that well, that I knew in high school, who was sober. And I really just felt better knowing that I could call them at any point. And please do not be embarrassed, because those of us who have done the really hard thing of quitting drinking, we're really proud of it and we are honored to help you. So get the phone number of someone. You don't have to call them yet, but just have it in your back pocket for when you need it. Number seven, if you drink like I did, and I was drinking daily, a bottle to two of wine every day, closer to two on the weekends, you may not have hobbies. And so many sober people on social media say, oh, you're going to have so much time for all your great hobbies. Well, drinking was my hobby, and I didn't have any other outside interests other than work. I was also a workaholic. So start thinking about how you might want to spend your free time. Believe it or not, you're going to have a lot more free time than you thought. So if you're not going to be having hangovers, you're not going to be going out partying every night, you're not going to be planning all day where you're going to go drinking that night, you're going to have all this free time. Have a plan. This was so important for me. When I didn't do it, I always failed. So figure out what course you might want to take. Do you want to take up walking at the beach? Do you want to join a bike club? Get the streaming channels, buy the books, do the things. Just indulge yourself now to fill that time. So you are excited about that free time that you're going to have. Number eight, your sugar cravings will probably be pretty crazy. And no one warned me about this. I didn't even expect it and I couldn't understand, even though I had studied nutrition for years. I did not make the connection in the blurriness of trying to become sober. And in the beginning, that's another pause effect where your brain's going to be really foggy in the beginning. And so suddenly, 9 o'clock at night, when I hadn't eaten candy in such a long time, I am driving to the store to get Twizzlers. I couldn't understand what was going on. I wanted ice cream when I had never liked ice cream before. So understand that there's a lot of sugar and alcohol, and you might be craving sugar like crazy. Indulge, just have the sugar. This is not a time to be going on a diet. I have clients that come to me that I work with as for personal coaching clients, and they say, I'm going to cut out all sugar, carbs, and quit alcohol. This is a terrible idea. It never works. I have never seen it work long term. So just have one priority at a time. Quitting drinking is far more important than your diet. Take it from me. Allow yourself to have the sugar now. Deal with that quitting sugar later, one thing at a time. Get your priorities straight. Number nine, you may not lose weight. Again, go back to number eight that I just mentioned. I remember hearing from sober people on social media who would say, I lost 50 pounds when I quit drinking. It was amazing. It just fell off of me. I gained weight. So do not be expecting to lose weight. I'd gain weight and say, I'm not doing this right. And I'd go back to drinking. So know that some people gain weight, especially in the beginning. Don't be in this for the weight loss. Be in it for your health. Don't get on the scale. It's not important right now. Number 10, not drinking is exhausting. I was so tired all the time. It took all my energy to not drink. So I get really tired at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And I think, well, I can't go to bed because then I'll get up at 3 in the morning. I did not go to bed early. I'd go to bed, it would still be light out. It's exhausting. Understand that. Take the naps. Do what you have to do. But no, you might feel really, really tired. Sober people talk about all of their energy, and this is true, but not in the beginning. Indulge yourself in the sleep that you need. Number 11, you will feel every emotion that you've tried to escape. And it might be decades worth. So, part of my eating disorders and my drinking was that I was pushing down all these emotions and trying to not feel it and just work through my busy job and not pay attention to it. And I didn't have time for emotions. So, when I quit drinking, everything came up. I went from being a very stoic person to someone who cries at every cute commercial that has a kitten on it. And I thought I was losing my mind. But no, this is typical. The emotions are going to come up and they're finally going to work their way out. And it's going to be hard and it's going to be a little scary, but it doesn't last forever. So just buckle up and be aware of it. It's going to happen. You will make it through. Number 12, you will confuse boredom with peace. So you're going to get to a point where, if you're like most people who quit drinking, where you feel so bored. This is boring. I have no drama in my life. I'm not doing anything crazy. This is boring. I'm not going to happy hour. I'm not going to parties all the time. I'm not hanging out at bars. But you will realize later on that this is simply peace. You just have not experienced it in a while. So don't confuse the two. Understand that a peaceful life starts to feel so good. It's my favorite thing, having peaceful days now. But in the beginning, it felt like boredom. Number 13, not everyone will celebrate or even support your decision to quit drinking. I had family members who said, "Are you still on that not drinking kick?" And friends who would say, "When are you going to start drinking again?" And this really upset me in the beginning. I did the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, and I thought people would be applauding me. But please understand that people love you as you are today. And people get worried. Are you going to change when you quit drinking? Are you going to expect them to quit drinking? Are you never going to see them again? And you need to understand that not everyone's going to be supportive. This is why it's really important that you find a group or you find a couple sober friends who will be your cheerleaders. But sometimes your closest family and friends are not going to be those people in the beginning. Also, know that people are watching you and admiring you. And while they don't say that in the beginning, I love hearing from people years later. Even after I've been sober for a year, people come up to me and say, "I have such respect for you for being the only sober person at that dinner. And I really admire you for that." So please know that people are watching you with great respect, but they may not be telling you that in the beginning. Number 14, success is not always linear. We all know a few people who quit drinking one day and they never went back. But truthfully, it takes people on average 2 years to quit drinking. It took me a lot longer. But understand that your last mistake is not important. What matters is what you do next. So when I finally got sobriety to stick, it was after I started stringing together more and more sober days. I had a tracker on my phone, and each month I would look at how many days I remained sober. And as long as I was getting more days behind me, I saw that as a success. Now, before that, when I was failing at quitting drinking, I would maybe not have a drink for a couple of weeks and then I would have a drink and say, "Oh, I failed. I'm going back to drinking." No, what you have to do is see those 2 weeks that you didn't drink as success. So it's just the way that you look at it. And if you look at how you're succeeding, then you will build more success and you will eventually be able to quit for good. This is exactly how it worked for me and how it's working for my clients that I work with. So just keep coming back. That's all you have to do. And finally, number 15, it seems impossible. I couldn't believe it, but there really does come a day when you don't think about alcohol anymore. I really don't think about it much. And if I do, I know that I don't want to go back to drinking. It seems impossible to you probably right now, but listen, I've been there. I know you're going to have to trust me on this one. And the last thing is really the most important. If you take one thing away from this time with me, let it be this. Alcohol is not the problem. It's the symptom of a problem. Just like my emotional eating was not the problem. There's some underlying reason typically as to why you're trying to escape. Alcohol is an escape mechanism. So I don't go to therapy. I didn't when I quit drinking. I'd been to therapy prior to that and it wasn't helpful to me when it came to quitting drinking. So I don't think that you have to solve all your problems, but it was important for me to get curious and understand what I was trying to escape from. And that really unlocked a lot for me. And the most important thing for me was building a life that I no longer wanted to escape from. So my sobriety didn't stick until I started adding in other things that brought me joy besides food and alcohol. And that was really the key that unlocked long term sobriety for me. So I have been sober for 7.5 years. And if I can do it, you can too. So, if you're interested in learning more about how I might be able to help you, I offer personal coaching one on one from 4 or 8 weeks. And I also offer digital courses throughout the year on quitting drinking, building your own blueprint, and quitting drinking on your own. It's a self paced course. And I also have a course on emotional eating, which is something else that I've battled with for years. So here's my contact information. You can send me a DM. I always get back to you. And you can always book a call with me. 30 minutes free consultation. You can go to my website, link in bio, email me. I'm happy to set up that call for you at any time. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you found this helpful. Send me any feedback. I'd love to hear from you. I'll talk to you soon.